This is Johnny Chazz. Good evening. Here to talk about the 2017 March Madness basketball tournament. My predictions. Who are the Cinderellas? Who are the teams that are overrated? And let's take a look at it. Teams to bet on against the spread, who to lay the points with, and who's going to come out of each region, and who will be our eventual national champion. All right, so we're looking right here at the West region. And in the West region, Gonzaga. This team, I think, played a soft schedule. Go against them. They're going to be laying like 20-some-odd points. Take South Dakota plus the points. Gonzaga is nowhere near as good as people think. That schedule was soft. This team is overrated. Yes, they advance, but South Dakota gets the cover, catching 23 points in the opening round. Northwestern Vanderbilt, flip a coin. I don't know who's going to win this game, but I'll lean to Vanderbilt just because they come out of a tough battle-tested SEC. Notre Dame by about 6 over Princeton. West Virginia handles Bucknell. Wouldn't be surprised if that was an ambush. Maryland Xavier should be a tough game, come down to the wire, possibly overtime. I lean to Maryland. I like Florida State to advance. I like St. Mary's to advance and Arizona to move on. Now, the West region second round, the round of 32. Gonzaga, Vanderbilt, tough game. Gonzaga, again, probably advances, but Vanderbilt is a team that comes out of that SEC, and they're going to slow down the pace with Gonzaga. This game could be first team to 60 or 65, might win this. Take Vanderbilt plus the points. Just fade Gonzaga the whole tournament. But Vanderbilt, West Virginia, Florida State, Arizona, these are the 4 teams I see in the Sweet 16 of the West region. Vanderbilt, West Virginia, I think this game could be another ambush. I think West Virginia could be favored by about 4 or 5, and will win this by about 8 or 9. I like West Virginia to advance. Florida State, Arizona comes down to the wire. I think Florida State wins it on the final shot. These two meet up, and I think West Virginia beats Florida State in the West region by 4 points. By a final score of 74-70. Okay, so the West region winner, West Virginia, moving on to the Final Four, the Mountaineers. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next region, so give it a second. And this is the South. In the South, number 1, North Carolina. Obviously, North Carolina losing to Duke in the ACC tournament, but still a very talented team. They're playing Texas Southern. Carolina obviously advances. Arkansas, Seton Hall. I like any team in this tournament coming out of the Big East, not only to cover, but to move on. Seton Hall advances. Minnesota, Middle Tennessee State could be the upset of the first round. This is a dangerous basketball team. They can shoot, they can play defense. This game could be finished in the low 60s. Middle Tennessee State to advance. Minnesota could be right there, though, but these two teams are going to be battling all the way. Butler and Winthrop. Winthrop's another long shot to look at. Look at these two teams. Cincinnati moves on. UCLA moves on. Dayton moves on. Kentucky's overrated. Remember I said that. Take the points with Northern Kentucky in the South, but Kentucky still should move on to the next round. Next round, second round of 32 of the South region. North Carolina will play Seton Hall. Again, fade North Carolina a little bit here because Seton Hall, a battle-tested team, they're dangerous. Great guard play. They knock down their free throws, well coached, and they slow the pace down a little bit. Carolina might have a little trouble with this team. Should be interesting. I think Seton Hall could advance in this game. Minnesota, but I'm going to take Carolina to advance. Minnesota should advance. UCLA and Dayton, these 4 teams should advance to the Sweet 16. So in the South, I have Carolina, Minnesota, and UCLA, Dayton. I see these 4 teams playing out. Both games should be very tight. UCLA and Dayton, this game could be actually lower scoring than expected. I'm going now to the final of the South region. Once these 4 teams play, we'll get on to the next slide here. I see Minnesota playing UCLA and UCLA winning that game by about 7 or 8 in the end. I think this is a good basketball team, Minnesota. They've been overlooked all year. But this is a team that either wins their first round game and goes deep into the tournament, or a team that can exit early because they do have a dangerous first round game, and I like UCLA to win it at 14-1 tournament odds to go to the Final Four with West Virginia. In the Midwest, Kansas, this team moves on no matter what. Miami of Florida, Michigan State. This team is playing very well right now. They played great in the Big 12 tournament, Big 10 tournament. Miami, though, started the season great, faded at the end, but I think this is a team that's ready for this tournament. Slight favorite, should win it. Iowa State, Nevada. Nevada's playing great basketball right now, but I like Iowa State. I think they're just too talented. They come out of too tough of a conference, and I think Nevada's going to be up against it here. Still should be a tight game. Iowa State by 6. I like Purdue over Vermont. I think Vermont gets the cover, though. Rhode Island. This is a dangerous team. I think they upset Creighton in the first round. In this round, take number 11, Rhode Island. Oregon advances. Michigan and Oklahoma State. I think Michigan goes down here. Oklahoma State, look for them as the number 10 seed to advance. So 11 Rhode Island, 10 Michigan State, or number 11 Rhode Island advances, and number 10 Oklahoma State advances to play Louisville. These are 2 high seeds that I say watch out for. These are sleepers. These 8 teams will match up here in the Midwest region second round. Miami of Florida will run into Kansas. I think this could be the end of Miami of Florida's run. I hope they advance, but I think Kansas gets past them. Iowa State, Purdue, this is a classic game. Comes down to the final shot. Iowa State, I think, advances to play Kansas. Oregon will then play Louisville. This is a chalky conference. I think the Midwest is going to be a lot of favorites, not covering, but getting through. I think 1 through 5 are dangerous, but look out for 10 and 11, Oklahoma State and Rhode Island. Dangerous teams in this conference. They could sneak into this picture, okay? Kansas and Iowa State, I see Iowa State getting past Kansas. I see Oregon getting past their game and moving on, and I see Iowa State coming out of the Midwest. They are 60-1 to win this tournament. This is a team I think can play defense. They shoot the ball well from 3, very well. They knock down their free throws, and they can rebound most of all. I like Iowa State. They're a sleeper in this tournament. Keep an eye on them. In the East region, Villanova advances. Wisconsin, Virginia Tech. Flip a coin, I have no idea. I guess Virginia Tech or Wisconsin. I don't know. You pick. Virginia, UNC Wilmington. This is a dangerous game for Virginia. I think a lot of people think Virginia wins this game by double digits going away, and they're one of the top-ranked teams in the nation. They're not playing very well right now. This is a dangerous game. The 12 seed could hang in there with UNC Wilmington, but Virginia probably gets by about 5 or 6. Tough game. Take the points with the 12 seed. Florida moves on. SMU moves on. Baylor, I think they get beat. Big favorite, 14-point favorite. Watch out for this team, New Mexico State. Watch out for Marquette. These are 2 teams that could advance over Carolina and Baylor, and let's take Duke to move on over Troy. In the second round, Villanova will get Virginia Tech. Here's another Big East team. Take the points with them no matter what they're catching from Villanova. They'll probably be getting about 8 points in this game, or 9 on a neutral site. In the East region, both teams have East Coast presence. I do like Virginia Tech to get the cover, and this could be an upset, but Villanova probably to advance. Virginia, Florida. Florida, I think it upsets Virginia in this game, even though Virginia may not even get to this round. But I like Florida to move on past here, SMU to move on, and of course I like Marquette to upset Duke. If you didn't notice that on the last slide, number 10 Marquette will play Duke, and that could be a major upset. I think Duke's a little bit overrated. They may be on a high after the win in the ACC. People are talking about this team being a favorite to go all the way. I'm not sure Duke's that good. Florida State, SMU, these are the 2 teams that I see in the finals of the East region. Number 4, number 6, and I think, even though it says Iowa State, SMU is the team that I see advancing in the East to the Final Four at 60-1 over Florida. I like Southern Methodist. So my Final Four, Johnny Chazz's Final Four for 2017. I see UCLA as a 3 seed, playing Iowa State a 5 seed. I have the 4 West Virginia playing the 6 SMU. I don't see a 1 seed in the Final Four at all. It could happen. Maybe 1 makes it. I don't think 2 teams make it. I don't have a 2 seed in there. UCLA, Iowa State, I think Iowa State advances, and I think SMU and West Virginia will be a tight game with West Virginia advancing. West Virginia plays UCLA in the final, or Iowa State, and your national champion right here at 40-1 future odds, because of their defense, because of the coaching of Bob Huggins, their ability to rebound. They didn't play too well in their conference tournament, although they lost in their final. This is a battle-tested team in a strong conference. Take West Virginia to go all the way. This is Johnny Chazz, March Madness 2017. Good luck.